It was the first weekend of autumn in Belgrade. The air outside was chilly, soaked in the scent of rain and leaves. The Kovacevic family home stood at the edge of a quiet neighborhood, with rustling trees and only a few houses nearby. Milena Kovacevic, 25, had been looking forward to some peace. She worked long hours as a junior architect and rarely had time to relax. Her younger brother, Luka, 20, was a university student, laid back, gaming most nights, and barely lifting a finger around the house unless bribed with food. Their parents were off to Novi Sad to visit their grandmother for the weekend, leaving the house to the siblings. As night fell, thunder rolled in the distance. Milena walked past Luka in the living room and narrowed her eyes. He was surrounded by empty soda cans, chips on the floor, eyes glued to the glowing screen. "Don't forget to lock the back door," she said. Yeah, Luka muttered, his focus on his game. Milena sighed and went upstairs. She poured herself a glass of red wine, lit a vanilla candle in her room, and pulled a throw blanket around her. She was just about to watch her favorite crime series when the electricity flickered and cut out. Everything went black. "Luka," she called out. "I didn't do it," he shouted back from downstairs. She grabbed her phone and used the flashlight app, tiptoeing downstairs. The storm was louder now. Wind howled through the cracks, and the branches outside tapped like long fingers on the windows. "Power's out," she said, holding the light toward Luka. "Did you check the fuse box?" "Nope," he said. "But I locked the front door just now." Milena frowned. "What about the back door?" Luka paused. "I thought you—" Milena's breath caught. They both looked at each other. Without a word, Luka grabbed the baseball bat they kept for emergencies and headed to the kitchen. Milena followed slowly behind. As they reached the back door, Luka shined his flashlight across the floor. Muddy footprints. Not theirs. They led from the back door, toward the stairs. Milena froze. Her skin went cold. "Did you step in mud earlier?" she asked, her voice barely a whisper.
"No."
They looked toward the darkened staircase. Someone had been in the house. Maybe still was. They locked the back door, bolted every window they could, and rushed upstairs. They locked themselves in Milena's room, the only room with a strong door latch. For a few minutes, there was only silence between them. Milena sat on the edge of her bed. Luka paced, gripping the bat tightly. Lightning lit up the room through the curtains. "I saw something earlier," Milena whispered. "In the window's reflection. A shadow behind me. I thought it was you." Luka's face tensed. Then her phone buzzed. "Unknown number. Why did you lock me out?" She dropped it like it burned her. Luka grabbed it and read the message aloud, swallowing hard. "That's not a joke," he asked. She shook her head. He checked the timestamp, just 1 minute ago. Then came the sound.
Creak. From the hallway.
Then another. They held their breath. Knock.
Knock.
Knock. On Milena's bedroom door. A hoarse male voice whispered through the wood. "I know you're in there, Milena." Her name.
He knew her name.
Milena grabbed Luka's arm. "Who is that?" Luka motioned her to be quiet. More knocking. Then silence. After 5 agonizing minutes, Luka leaned close to the door and listened. Nothing. "Stay here," he whispered. "I'm going to check."
"No."
"Don't." Milena begged. But Luka, heart pounding, opened the door a crack and peeked through. The hallway was empty. Only the sound of the wind and rain. He stepped out. Milena, terrified to be alone, followed him. They moved slowly, checking every room. And then, the window in their parents' bedroom was wide open. The curtains blew like ghosts in the wind. They ran to slam it shut. As they did, Milena saw something in the yard. A man. Standing in the rain. Still as a statue. He wore a hoodie, soaked and clinging to his skin. His face was hidden. But he stared directly at their window. Milena screamed. Luka pulled her away and shut the curtain. They called the police, hands shaking. "We'll be there in 20 minutes, the officer on the line said. "Stay inside. Stay quiet." But 20 minutes in fear feels like hours. They sat together on the floor of her bedroom, backs against the wall. She held Luka's hand tightly. It was the first time in years they had been this close. "Remember when you used to crawl into my bed during thunderstorms?" Milena asked. Luka chuckled nervously. "Yeah, you'd pretend not to notice." Milena smiled sadly. "Now I'm the one scared." Lightning flashed again, and this time, they heard the unmistakable sound of glass shattering downstairs. "He's inside again," Luka whispered. He stood, pulling Milena with him. "Come on, we're going to the attic," he said. They climbed the creaking attic stairs and locked the trapdoor behind them. Inside, it was dusty and cold, filled with old furniture and memories. Then Luka's phone buzzed. "Same unknown number. You shouldn't have called them. I was just here for her. But now I want both." Milena gasped. Luka clutched his phone so hard it almost cracked. "He was watching us," she said. "He knew we were alone." Minutes passed. Silence again. Then came footsteps.
Below.
Then on the stairs. Slow, steady, heavy. Then at the trapdoor to the attic came a scratching sound. Then a whisper. "Milena." Luka held the bat, ready to strike. But just then, sirens. The man bolted. They heard his footsteps thunder down the stairs and out the back. Police flooded the home. They caught the intruder 2 blocks away, soaked and bleeding from the cut Luka had given him during their last encounter. But the real shock came later. One of the detectives asked Luka privately, "Are you Milena's only brother?" "Yes," Luka said. "We found something you need to see." They showed Luka a notebook recovered from the man's backpack. Inside were dozens of drawings of Milena's face, pictures taken from afar, and written phrases like, "She's mine. He doesn't deserve to be near her." One night, when they're alone, he had been watching them for months. He wasn't just a burglar.
He was obsessed.
Luka never told Milena the full truth of what was written in the book. He wanted to protect her. But from that night on, he never let her stay alone again. Their bond, one once filled with casual sibling distance, had turned into something stronger. A shield.
A vow.
Because one night alone had revealed a dark truth. Sometimes the monsters aren't under your bed. They're watching you through the window.